Bandaged is the way I'd want to go. It's the mummy lifestyle for me, but honestly, it's impossible to actually look sexy while wrapped in bandages. I stand corrected. Phrolova is the first antagonist that we have as a playable character, and not only does she play to the tunes of your heart, she is a damn solid character. She controls echoes, she controls music, she controls your hands to throw an infinite amount of Astrites at her, and today, your resident VoidEnigma is going to show you how to play Phrolova, the brand new Havoc Rectifier user. We'll be going over her kit, echoes, weapons, and team options. She is the queen of the Mono Havoc team, and as the Mono Fusion team just leaves us with Lupa, Phrolova is here to replace her. Phrolova is a character that actually uses echoes to assist her in battle. She loves her baby Hecate, and from atop her throne, she commands death onto her enemies. Phrolova doesn't have an energy bar at all, so energy regen is useless. Instead, her forte triggers her liberation state, so let's break that down. Phrolova specializes in resonant skill damage as well as echo skill damage, and she offers control through multiple stagnation fields, as well as having an off-field liberation similar to that of Ciaccona. You start things off with basic attack 3 or a resonant skill, which puts her in reincarnate state. That allows her to follow up with a basic attack to get a red cord, or you can follow up with a resonant skill to get a purple cord. These cords will determine what move Hecate uses later on when you use her liberation. The basic attack causes a slight stagnation on the target, and it does a decent amount of damage, perfect for crowd control. Red cord, aka string. The resonant skill version does a bit more damage and offers no crowd control, but it's more damage of course. Purple cord, wind. There's also a third version. It is automatically obtained in place of a red or purple note by gaining either note after the following actions: an intro skill or an echo skill that Phrolova has equipped. 6 notes. Polarized choir. Hecate and Maestro. The gap between phantasm and reality. Hollow. Magenta. You stack up to 6 notes and you unlock her enhanced heavy attack, which is Scarlet Coda. This is the most powerful part of her normal kit, and it's a long animation that weaves all of her enemies into place, stagnating them and dealing significant resonant skill damage. Once you cast this heavy attack, her liberation is ready. And depending on the majority of the notes that you have, you'll get a different Phrolova expression. String, red, means she is sad girl. Purple, wind, means she's a happy stringer. Casting this liberation, Maestro, puts Phrolova in the air to command Hecate. She gains a massive buff in this state, including a ton of attack and crit damage from her other passive, and depending on the notes that she used in combat, Phrolova will command Hecate to perform certain actions every 4 seconds. You can stand there and command Hecate from atop of the Havoc throne like a goddess, sure, but what you actually want to do in this state is leave Phrolova to command Hecate by herself while you control your other resonators. She will completely do her damage off field and you can rotate through your team with ease. Phrolova also gets the after sound stacks when she's off field. The longer she's off field, the more stacks that she gets. This grants her increased damage on her enhanced heavy attack when she gets to it, but what it grants you that's even better is a crit damage buff, so you definitely want to be using her off field. Now let's talk about what Hecate is doing while you control your other characters. If a red string note plays, it'll command Hecate to do an attack that stagnates the enemy, keeping them in place for a second. The purple winds note commands Hecate to do an attack that pulls in the enemies. The mixed cadenza note does both stagnating and pulling of the enemies. This state lasts for 24 seconds, meaning that Hecate will get off all 6 attacks depending on how you set up your notes. Once you intro back into Phrolova, or the Maestro state simply ends, Phrolova will command Hecate to cast her finisher, Curtain Call, which does significant havoc damage and stagnates the enemy. That's a lot of details, but let's explain the normal Phrolova combo to make things a bit simpler to understand. You start combat with Phrolova's Echo skill, which you should have Hecate equipped, but we'll talk about Echoes later. Either way, you start with the Echo skill, and then you'll immediately cast her Resonant skill, then you'll follow up with either a basic attack or another Resonant skill to gain a cadenza note. Then, you'll continue to cast Basic Attack 3 or Resonance Skill in order to gain the Reincarnate state. And then you'll cash in that state with Basic Attacks or Resonance Skills to gain a note. If you want crowd control, use Basic Attacks. If you want more damage, then you'll use the Resonance Skills. Once you get 6 notes, you'll use her Enhanced Heavy Attack to cast a massive stagnation field dealing significant damage. Afterwards, you'll cast her Liberation and swap off of her and let Hecate do her own thing while you control your other characters. Easy peasy. Her outro skill is quite a good Havoc buff as well, and it also buffs heavy attack damage when she swaps out. Sounds like a Roccia buffer, don't you think? Quick side note, when she casts her Echo skill, she gains interruption to resistance and she reduces damage for 15 seconds, so you always want to cast her Echo skill in combat, but it should be very easy to do in her normal rotation. Additionally, all of Hecate's coordinated attacks are also considered Echo skill damage. So what does this all mean? Well, Phrolova has a completely unique team, Mono Havoc. And we'll talk about that more in the team section, so stay tuned. Now that we've got her kit out of the way, let's talk about other parts of Phrolova's kit so you can better understand her mechanics. And to help me out, if you found this video really useful, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. That helps me pay the internet bill so that I can keep giving y'all great content. So take a second, subscribe, like, let's get right back to the video. Phrolova is a character that commands echoes, and she certainly has a unique echo setup that commends her to her attunements. The first 3-piece echo set, and Phrolova is the one to obtain it. Dubbed Dreams of the Lost. This is the first 3-piece echo set, so that means you'll be using this 3-piece with another 2-piece set, which will probably be Havoc damage. So what does this 3-piece set do? For any resonator that has 0 energy, Phrolova, they get 20% crit rate and 35% echo skill damage bonus. Literally made for a single character, huh? So for the main piece, she obviously wants the new Nightmare Hecate Echo, with crit rate or crit damage depending on the weapon type that you have. She wants Havoc damage for the 2 elite pieces, or you can use attack percent if you don't have a Havoc piece, and she wants attack percent for the 2 common pieces as usual. Build her like any other DPS. For substats, prioritize crit rate or crit damage, attack and attack percent, then resonance skill damage. Nothing else really helps her. Easy echo options, to be honest, and she's going to be much easier to build than other characters because she can use even your old pieces that you have on your other Havoc characters. Her weapon options aren't so easy to digest though. She has quite a few that really work well with her, so let's discuss them. Phrolova has quite a few weapons, but nothing comes close to Lathine's Elegy. Man, this weapon looks amazing. This weapon grants a nice crit rate buff, as well as a sizable buff after dealing resonant skill damage, 32% resonant skill damage bonus, and 32% echo skill amplification. It also lets you ignore 8% of the target's defense. This weapon increases Phrolova's damage significantly when she's in her Maestro state, and it's just the best option, of course, for Phrolova. Stringmaster is up next, and when does a Rectifier user come out that doesn't automatically want Yinlin's prized possession? Swiped. Stringmaster is yet another powerful option for Phrolova, offering a massive crit rate substat buff, and great attack percent all around. Attack percent is always the best buff for buffing your characters, other than crit of course. Her next best option is to swipe Cantarella's weapon, although you should be using them on the same team nonetheless, so Whispers of Sirens is probably going to want to stay on Cantarella. But if you want to give it to Phrolova, then you're in for a good time because it's a great option. It's a great stat stick, and its passive synergizes with her. She casts echo skills, therefore she will get the buff. However, I wish it was as good as it seems. I don't know if all of Phrolova's echo skills count as unique echoes, but her own echo skill and her Maestro's echo should be unique. Don't quote me on that though. Next up is Rhymed Draped Spouts, and it's an overall decent stat stick. Phrolova does do a bit of basic attack damage, so the effect is a bit useful, but it's mainly used for the crit rate substat. Finally, Cosmic Ripples is the standard weapon, and it's pretty stock standard. It's an attack percent stat stick, sure, but the passive is almost useless as energy regen is just not good on her. And the little basic attack amplification that it does give, well, basic attack bonus that it gives, is not going to be that useful. So if you got nothing else, then use it, but, you know, you could also perhaps use Augment, which is the Battle Pass weapon, and when you use her Liberation skill, she gets a decent attack percent buff. So it's going to be a good option, plus it gives crit rate as a substat. Definitely worth considering and using it over Cosmic Ripples. The other 4-star options are very situational since she's a main damage dealer, or a sub DPS damage dealer for that matter, but she's going to want a 5-star. Don't be stingy. Phrolova has these echoes following her because she wants attention, so give her the attention that she needs and give her a 5-star weapon. Simple as that. And while she's fiending for your attention, one thing's for sure, her teammates are going to love her because she will offer crowd control and damage during their on-field presence. The teammates that pair perfectly with her are Roccia and Cantarella, the mono Havoc team. You know the Havoc set effect bonus that does Havoc damage on swap? Well, it's coming into play here because this triple stack will feed into each other's intros and outros. Ideally, it'll go something like this. Phrolova will start the rotation and outro into Roccia, buffing her heavy attack. After Roccia finishes her combo, which should be pretty quick as well as setting up her buffs, she will intro into Cantarella and provide her with the basic attack buff that she needs with her Roccia's outro. From there, Cantarella will do her whole rotation with the full buffs that she got from Roccia, and she'll finally outro into Phrolova, who will blow everything up and start the process all over again, but this time with the outro skills that she got from Cantarella. This team works similarly to Lupa and Mono Fusion, except the overall damage is going to be definitely weigh more heavily on Phrolova's presence because Roccia and Cantarella both do decent damage, but they don't do nearly as much damage as Cheng-Li and Brant. We'll have to see how the team shakes it up, but it's going to be a very good team. Other than that, her team options are fairly consistent, honestly. She is a heavy attack buffer, so you know what that means, right? Gion's potentially got an upgrade because Phrolova does massive damage, and having her as a sub DPS may elevate Gian to an insanely new height. Also, consider Zani for her more niche scenarios alongside Spectra Rover, of course. You can drop either Roccia and Cantarella and fill that role with many other characters. You want a basic attack buffer for Roccia's slot? Sanhua fits the bill. You want a resonant skill buffer who heals for Cantarella's spot? Brant is the perfect fit. Instead of Brant or Cantarella, however, you can even use Shorekeeper or Verena, as they are universally good here. Other than that, she's a sub DPS with main DPS damage, so literally use her wherever you want. She's universally good and is a great pickup if you like this character's design. Real question is, how does she compare to Camellia? They both inhabit different roles, but you can definitely even use them together. You'll have to choose which team you like more, but Phrolova definitely comes close, but I don't know if she's going to be as powerful or even more powerful than Camellia, especially in the Mono Havoc team. Simply because of the synergy with their outro buffs, the Phrolova team might pull ahead slightly. Overall though, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll do a comparison. Phrolova comes with a very impressive kit, and while she's the first villain in Wuthering Waves, she is a damn good character that fits into many roles and fills many positions. Is she a must pull though? Definitely not. She's a great character if you actually want her. Her quick swap scenarios are also something that I'm very interested in, and I'll be displaying some crazy tech that you can actually use with her, so stay tuned for the rotation guide. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a like for the algorithm, and thank you so much for watching. This has been VoidEnigma, out.